for most people here, like we are not quite experts. We are not experts in the carbon space, but I'm much more experienced in the data center. So let me show you what the things going on. So first is about how I start to know about the carbon and how to like learn the things. It's a book from Bill Gates, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. You know, when I was a child, when I tried to like attend the middle school, high school, my teacher, our bro, keeps telling us that the global warming is really serious problem, and we need to try to solve that. But I feel like it's a very long distance from me, from life. So I think, okay, it's okay. It looks like a problem. Maybe the summer gotta be much hotter, winter gotta be much warm. Looks not too bad. But then after I read this book, I know, okay, if we like to keep we should pay more attention to the climate problem, because if we don't do so, maybe one day the humans gonna be, you know, disappear from the earth due to the climate. For example, the glacier, right? Just like to say thank you in the bog here called the glaciers. And then the second part is when I know the importance of the carbon problem, so I have a crazy idea. The idea is we need to like remove the carbon, or maybe we need to offset the carbon on our Earth. Why we just do something much more crazy that we can load the carbon inside a rocket, and then some guys like Elon Musk, they say, okay, SpaceX is much cheaper for people to use, and then we can just load the carbon to the moon, to the outside of our Earth. If people keep talking like galaxy is much higher, much bigger, so it looks like Earth is just a dust of the whole galaxy. If they say it's true, then why we just emission the carbon into the space? The problem is solved, right? That's my first idea. It's much easier. Why I need to keep doing such plant, move the carbon, the carbon dioxide, CO2 to different forms? Much easier solution. And forever, we move the carbon. So that's my crazy idea, right? I don't know anyone has thought about things, but that's just, I'm not quite familiar with this part, so I just think like that way. And I keep this idea and try to find people who can support me. Like we can remove the carbon. And then one day, I went to Boston and went to MIT labs. My friend, he is there as a PhD in MIT for material part. I have visited his labs. It's quite crazy. It's just like after the World War II, all of the like iron, lots of dirty things. And he tell me, well, this is not a right answer for that because the world still need carbon. Carbon actually is really useful for the earth, for the people, for the lives, because we may think the CO2, the carbon dioxide, has protect the atmosphere and to extend the global warming. But actually, if we can help to convert the CO2 to CO, CO is a fuel, right? We can use it to generate lots of the energy. And if we can, like, we still need a carbon for lots of things, for natural, for different kind of things. So after that, I noticed, yes, the answer is we don't need to remove the carbon outside of the Earth, but actually we should try to convert the CO2 into different, like become the CO, become like some things, fuel below the land, and maybe inside our body, I don't know, maybe body can very well store the carbon. So that's a crazy idea and the answers, right, the SpaceX. And then I keep to thinking, okay, anything I can do for solving the data center problems. And I guess few people have familiar with the data center, so I want to focus on the data center electricity usage. Let's see some numbers. The first is last year. The global data center electricity usage has around 220, 300 TWh, and which means it's around 0.9 and 1.3 of the global final electricity demand. Few people notice that, but this is the data. Data told us. The data from the ICT. And the data has excluded the energy used by the cryptocurrency mining. Right? We're in DevCon, it's all about crypto, or most about crypto. So the crypto mining has like 100 to 140. Then I found the number. It looks like they have around 1% and maybe close to 2%. But we need to solve the future. The future is people keep stalling. We after the COVID, we like to do lots of things online. Like we work online, we social online, we even consume online. So people say, okay, maybe in the future, 10, 20 years later, we're going to enter the world called metaverse. Like Facebook, they renamed to Meta. But I'm still no idea about the what we call metaverse. And then I think it's very simply, maybe metaverse is just like people can work online and they can like consume online, right? Just like you work there and you enjoy the rest of life there. So maybe this is called metaverse. And if we really enter such a space called metaverse, the data center, the cost of data center, the energies will be much more crazy than people think. So we only want to solve a very small problem here. We don't want to solve the global carbon. We just only want to solve the data center carbon and try to find a new protocol here. Let's see the pictures, the energy forecast from like since 2010 to 2030. Yeah, the data need to be kind of tuning for the recent things. If you saw the data here, actually, it's quite small. The networks and the production, you can just see right now we are around to 2020 to 2022. Yeah, 2022 here. And maybe the next part, the next decades or 2 decades, the networks part will increase very rapidly. So there are 2 kinds of electricity be used for the network. First is data center. Data center costs a lot of electricity. The second is the transfer, like, for example, if you want to transfer your data to the US, to Europe, to Asia, you need to use the submarines, cables. It costs lots of energy. So these 2 parts totally has been around 2% last year, the global electricity demand. And we may forecast it may be close to 5, or maybe if much crazy, it can be 6 or 8. So we think, okay, whether anything we can do for the data center. So I want to introduce the first new words today. Maybe you are not quite familiar. It's called power usage effectiveness, PUE. So let's look how the data center use the energies. Yeah, maybe a little hardcore, but worth a read. So the first is they have the IT equipment. For example, you have some storage, you have some machines, having GPUs, RAMs together, and you need these equipment for the normal usage. So this is called IT equipment. And second, you have some like lighting and auxiliary devices, for example, to make sure everything gonna work. And third part, much more important, is cooling system. So for data center, they try to support our daily life, and their cooling system will actually cost lots of energy, to be honest, because the 7% right now, the IT equipment is necessary. We can do nothing for that. But for the cooling systems, maybe in the old style, people still using like air conditioner, like to use the wind to cool the system. And right now, people said, okay, we can try to find some like water to cool the system. And third, we can find some hybrid way. Use air conditioner and use the like some water. Actually, this is not water, it's a liquid. Like we will cut the whole the data center, the machines into the liquid to remove the heat. So the PUE, the power usage effective, actually is measure the effectiveness of the data center. And you can see the things here. It's the total data center energy consumption, which means the whole, and divide the energy consumption of the IT equipment. So the whole divided 70%, which means if the PUE is higher, you waste lots of energy. You are less effective in this. If you look at the world, PUE is a general standard. It's already been applied for most of countries. And the countries will require you that if you try to build a new data center, like next to the city, for example, you live in San Francisco, you want to build a new data center next to San Francisco, they will check your PUE is good enough. And for the existing data center, they will say, if you don't have enough PUE, you need to like adjust your cooling system into a new way. That has already been applied by countries. It's not easy, but yeah, the politics, the lots of things, they're top down to execute the things. So for this PUE, we found actually maybe we can do something from the market side, right? If you always try to solve the problem of the carbon, there are two ways. The first way is we let the governance, right? We let the countries, the guys who set the order, and to prohibit some things. And then the second way is maybe we can do something from the market side, like if people, they are likely to purchase the resources from much more higher effectiveness data center, and try to let the rest of the part, which wastes a lot of energies, to smoothly to be kicked out from the market. So this is things we want to do. It's called data center carbon credit, DCCC. So right now we try to define, have not finalized, but we try to define a carbon credit right now to measure that how many resources going to be used and what's the effectiveness of the data center. And then second, we're going to have the utilization rate. So we can combine them together. We will have a table here, high PUE, which is bad, and the low PUE, which is good, and high utilization and the low utilization. So we can see here, if you have the very bad effectiveness and you have high utilization, so you need to buy DCCC from the market to offset the carbon emissions. And if you have the low utilization, actually you can contribute other resources to get DCCC deductions. And while if you have very good effectiveness, you have high utilization, nothing, it's good. And then if you still have low utilizations, you can contribute other resources and sell DCCC for profit. So this is quite like the things being done from the EV side. You know, Tesla has not been set for, they think about maybe one day someone will have the carbon credit for the EV, right? You don't need to buy EV to manufacture the cars. But finally, they can earn money from sell their carbon credits. So that's the things we think we have been helping for the data center space. And next part is about to introduce Meson Network, yes. So anything we can do to solve this problem, because Meson Network, we are trying to build in a bandwidth marketplace, bandwidth physically. So all of our resources come from IDC, the data center, internet data center. So we think maybe we can be the first market to propose the data center protocol, the carbon credit. And then we are be the first guy to be compatible in our system. Like we said, if you have very good DCCC, we're going to give you some maybe 10, 20% discount to encourage people to convert their the old the data center into the new, much more effective one. And then I want to share with you more about the things we are doing. So we are doing the bandwidth marketplace. It looks boring, right? People all building the platform, building marketplace, building protocol. And actually, the problem we try to solve is we're using the protocol to remove the people or sales team in the system and try to give an open protocol to everyone who want to join the system, join our marketplace. And then we can offer a service to NFT, the images, videos, who need this. So you can, if you have some tech background, maybe you can regard it as a decentralized CDN service, kind of like. And I can give you some cases here. The first is about WordPress. Yeah, I'm not sure how many tech guys here, but I'm born up, I had deployed my WordPress. So right now, WordPress is, why we try to apply a plugin in WordPress, because we try to bring the crypto infra to more people outside of our space, right? Why I think NFT and something else, they are quite such powerful, because they are not trying to attract people from another project, from another Web3 crypto projects. They actually try to bring more new blood in our system and tell people more about, right? Why not, if we have the crypto infra, we have Web3 infra, why not just let the people from internet to try the service, to feel that? So if you have something like WordPress, you can just activate it. Second is about more about the crypto space applications like Mask. They are, I think it's like a social protocol on Twitter, and we have helped them to support their images from our wave to accelerate the files, and also same things from Phantom, the Solana wallet. You know, we have launched our testnet last year and running things, and then just last month, I guess, 2 months ago, Solana, the Phantom guys told us, okay, they are using our service for months, but they never told us until we upgrade our gateway. So we figure out, okay, our new users. And third is about Matters. Matters is really good. They are building a platform for the content creator, and they have compatible with a lot of IPFS gateway. And the hard thing is they use in IPFS.io, and they use the other Cloudflare gateway, but we give them a very good, like the Meson Network gateway, so just directly solve their problems. And yes, finally, it's a very easy talk. And I'm just a guy who wants to share with you the things we are focusing on the data center. And people, if you have the interest, you can go to our website, go to our Twitter, and you can join our GitHub to show you, to show us how to maybe have a new idea to solve the data center part for sustainable the energy usage. And yeah, that's all. Thank you guys.